update a little bit on, don't mind my bangs, like, they're so, like, high up even though they're, like, so much longer, but anyway, um wait, can you hear me back?
Yes.
Okay. Um, yeah, so I was applying for jobs, by the way, again, and shortly after I applied to one of the jobs, I got an email, like, the job was taken down. I was like "What the heck?" I was like, "Surely that's a coincidence," and it happened more than once. I was like, "What?" So, RIP to me. Anyway, sorry guys, I'm a little in the sky I from tiredness. I had like a really long nap. And anyway. So yeah, I'm gonna read a little bit also. Okay, I hope you guys also are having a good day. And you guys can ask questions if you want as well. But I'm gonna be like reading. So yeah. So yeah, I'm going to get to it. Guys, I had actually wait a second. Cuz I want to show you. Wait a second. That's not right. And I will also have like a stream after this is over. I'll be streaming on the Karis project with my dad, so but look at the portrait. Oh, it's too dark. Look at how cute that is. I wish I could know how to bring it up on the screen. Anyway, that's like my AI photo of the fortress. Okay, anyways, I'm going to read. So, we're in Isaiah 37 now. Sometimes I swear like it's because I've already read this book that every time I start like reading, I'm just like, "Hey Fabian, what's up, man? Thanks for joining. Please share the stream, guys, by the way. You guys can ask questions. I'm gonna like read a chapter of the Bible and I'll also do like Q&A at the like as well. But yeah, because I already read all these books, like sometimes when I'm reading it back, I'm like, "Oh, like did I read this already?" Cuz I did read it, but I'm like, "But did I read it, you know?" Guys, I feel so nauseous today as well. I don't know, I just feel so nauseous. Okay. Okay, so we're going to read from Isaiah 37. Yeah. So I'm going to start now. Hezekiah asks Isaiah to pray for the nation. And it came to pass when King Hezekiah heard it, that he rent his clothes and covered himself with sackcloth and went into the house of the Lord. And he sent Eliakim, who was over the household, and Shebna the scribe, and the elders of the priests covered with sackcloth. unto Isaiah the prophet, the son of Amos. And they said unto him, Thus saith Hezekiah, end of blasphemy. For the children are come to the birth, and there is not strength to bring forth. And it may be the Lord thy God will hear the words of Rabshakeh, whom the king of Assyria his master hath sent to reproach the living God, and will reprove the words which the Lord thy God hath heard. Wherefore lift up thy prayer for the remnant that is left. Wait a second. How are we going to see the comments on Twitch?
They should come up here.
Oh. Just kidding. I knew that. I just wanted to see if you knew that. Okay, and so the servants of King Hezekiah came to Isaiah, and Isaiah said unto them, Thus say ye, say unto your master. Thus saith the Lord, Be not afraid of the words that thou hast heard, wherewith the servants of the king of Assyria have blasphemed me. Behold, I will send a blast upon him, and he shall hear a rumor and return to his own land, and I will cause him to fall by the sword in his own land. Sennacherib sends a blasphemous letter to Hezekiah. Okay. So Rabshakeh returned and found the king of Assyria warring against Libnah, for he had heard that he was departed from Lachish, I don't know. And he heard say concerning to, hi guys. Oh, what was a burst of people joining just now? Hey guys, what's up? Ask a question if you want. I'm just reading. And he heard say concerning Tirhakah, king of Ethiopia, He is come forth to make war with thee. And when he heard it, he sent messengers to Hezekiah, saying, Thus say ye, speak to Hezekiah, king of Judah, saying, Let not thy God, in whom thou trustest, deceive thee, saying, Jerusalem shall not be given into the hand of the king of Assyria. Behold, thou hast heard what the kings of Assyria have done to all the lands by destroying them utterly. And shalt thou be delivered? Have the gods of the nations delivered them which my fathers have destroyed? As Gozan and Haran and Reziph and the children of Eden which were in Telazar? Where is the king of Hamath and the king of Arphad and the king of the city of Sepharvaim, Henna and Iva? And Hezekiah received the letter from the hand of the messengers and read it. And Hezekiah went up unto the house of the Lord and spread it before the Lord. And Hezekiah prayed unto the Lord, saying, O Lord of hosts, God of Israel, that dwellest between the cherubims, thou art the God, even thou alone, of all the kingdoms of the earth. Thou hast made heaven and earth. Incline thine ear, O Lord, and hear, open thine eyes, O Lord, and see and hear all the words of Sennacherib, which hath sent to reproach the living God. Of a truth, Lord, the kings of Assyria have laid waste all the nations and their countries, and have cast their gods into the fire. For they were no gods, but the work of men's hands, wood and stone, therefore they have destroyed them. Now, therefore, O Lord our God, save us from his hands, that all the kingdoms of the earth may know that thou art the Lord, even thou only. Isaiah's prophecy against Sennacherib. Then Isaiah the son of Amos sent unto Hezekiah, saying, Thus saith the Lord God of Israel, whereas thou hast prayed to me against Sennacherib, king of Assyria, this is the word which the Lord hath spoken concerning him. The virgin The daughter of Zion hath despised thee, and laughed thee to scorn. The daughter of Jerusalem hath shaken her head at thee. Whom hast thou reproached and blasphemed? And against whom hast thou exalted thy voice, and lifted up thine eyes on high, even against the Holy One of Israel? Wait, can you... By thy servants hast thou reproached the Lord, and hath said, by the multitude of my chariots am I come up to the height of the mountains, to the sides of Lebanon, and I will cut down the tall cedars thereof, and the choice fir trees thereof, and I will enter into the height of his border, and the forest of his Carmel. I have digged and drunk water, and with the sole of my feet have I dried up all the rivers of the besieged places. Hast thou not heard long ago? Now I have done it. And of ancient times that I have formed it, now have I brought it to pass that thou shouldest be to lay waste defenced cities into ruinous heaps. Therefore their inhabitants were of small power. They were dismayed and confounded. They were as the grass of the field, and as the green herb, as the grass on the housetop, and as corn blasted before it be grown up. But I know thy abode, and thy going out, and thy coming in, and thy rage against me, because thy rage against me, and thy multitude, thy tumult is come up into mine ears. Therefore will I put my hook in thy nose, and my bridle in thy lips, and I will turn thee back by the way by which thou camest. And this shall be a sign unto thee. Ye shall eat this year such as groweth of itself, and the second year that which springeth of the same. And in the third year sow ye, and reap, and plant vineyards, and eat the fruit thereof. And the remnant that is escaped of the house of Judah shall again take root downward, and bear fruit upward. For out of Jerusalem shall go forth a remnant, and they shall escape out of Mount Zion. The zeal of the Lord of hosts shall do this. Therefore thus saith the Lord concerning the king of Assyria, he shall not come into this city, nor shoot an arrow there, nor come before it with shields, nor cast a bank against it. By the way that he came, by the same shall he return, and shall not come into this city, saith the Lord. For I will defend this city to save it, for mine own sake, and for my servant David's sake. Then the angels of the Lord went forth and smote in the camp, and in the camp of the Assyrians 185,000. And when they arose early in the morning, behold, they were all dead corpses. So Sennacherib, Sennacherib, king of Assyria, departed and went and returned and dwelt at Nineveh. And it came to pass, as he was worshipping in the house of Nisroch as God, that Adramelech and Sharezer his son smote him with the sword, and they escaped into the land of Armenia, and Esarhaddon his son reigned in his stead. Chapter finished. Yeah. Let me see. Maybe I guess I'll do 38 also because it's short chapter. Okay, Hezekiah's illness. It says, in those days was Hezekiah sick unto death, and Isaiah the prophet, the son of Amos, came unto him, and said unto him, thus saith the Lord, set thine house in order, for thou shalt die and not live. Then Hezekiah turned his face toward the wall and prayed unto the Lord, and said, remember now, O Lord, I beseech thee, how I have walked before thee in truth and with a perfect heart, and have done that which is good in thy sight. And Hezekiah wept sore. Then came the word of the Lord to Isaiah, saying, Go and say to Hezekiah, Thus saith the Lord, the God of David thy father, I have heard thy prayer, I have seen thy tears. Behold, I will add unto thy days 15 years, and I will deliver thee and this city out of the hand of the king of Assyria, and I will defend this city. And this shall be a sign unto thee from the Lord, and the Lord will do this thing that he hath spoken. Behold, I will bring again the shadow of the degrees which is gone down in the sundial of Ahaz 10 degrees backwards, so the sun returned 10 degrees, by which degrees it was gone down. Hezekiah's song of thanksgiving. The writing of Hezekiah, king of Judah, when he had been sick and was recovered of his sickness. I said, in the cutting off of my days, I shall go to the gates of the grave. I am deprived of the residue of my years. I said, I shall not see the Lord, even the Lord, in the land of the living. I shall behold man no more with the inhabitants of the world. Mine age is departed, and is removed from me as a shepherd's tent. I have cut off like a weaver my life. He will cut me off with pining sickness. From day even to night wilt thou make an end of me. I reckoned till morning that as a lion so will he break all my bones. From day even to night wilt thou make an end of me. Like a crane or a swallow, so did I chatter. I did mourn as a dove. Mine eyes fail with looking upward. O Lord, I am oppressed. Undertake for me. Said, I am interesting. It's interesting technically how with Hezekiah's life extension things got worse. What shall I say? He hath both spoken unto me, and himself hath done it. I shall go softly all my years in the bitterness of my soul. O Lord, by these things men live. And in all these things in my life of my spirit, is the life of my spirit. So wilt thou recover me and make me to live. Behold, for peace I had great bitterness, but thou hast in love to my soul delivered it from the pit of corruption. For thou hast cast all my sins behind thy back. For the grave cannot praise thee, death cannot celebrate thee. They that go down into the pit cannot hope for thy truth. The living, he shall praise thee, as I do this day. The Father to the children shall make known thy truth. The Lord was ready to save me, therefore will we sing my songs to the stringed instruments all the days of our life in the house of the Lord. For Isaiah had said, Let them take a lump of figs and lay it for a plaister upon the boil, and he shall recover. Hezekiah also had said, What is the sign that I shall go up to the house of the Lord? Okay, there's a little passage here, commentary, so I will read that too. It's called God's Simple Healing Methods. For Isaiah 38, verse 21. Those who seek healing by prayer should not neglect to make use of the remedial agencies with it in their reach. It is not a denial of faith to use such remedies as God has provided to alleviate pain and to aid nature in her work of restoration. It is no denial of faith to cooperate with God and to place themselves in the condition most favorable to recovery. God has put it in our power to obtain a knowledge of the laws of life. This knowledge has been placed within our reach for use. We should employ every facility for the restoration of health, taking every advantage possible, working in harmony with natural laws. We have the sanction of the word of God for the use of remedial agencies. Hezekiah, king of Israel, was sick, and a prophet of God brought him the message that he should die. He cried unto the Lord, and the Lord heard his servant and sent him a message that 15 years should be added to his life. Now, one word from God would have healed Hezekiah instantly, but special directions were given. Let them take a lump of figs and lay it for a plaster upon the boil, and he shall recover. Isaiah 38, verse 21. Ministries to Healing, page 231 and 232. It's so funny. Yeah. In his life extension, his life just gets worse. That's so funny.
Yes.
Oh, may the Lord bless the reading of his holy word in it. I guess I'll pray before we... I guess we can do Q&A, and I'll just pray before I do some Q&A. Dear Jesus, thank you for the reading of your holy word. Thank you so much for this day. I ask that you please forgive us where we've erred and strayed in words, thoughts, deeds, and actions. I ask that you fill each and every one of us listening here today with your love and Holy Spirit. Please help us to be more like you, and please help us to understand the remedies that we can use to heal ourselves, and please help us to seek earnestly and diligently for the necessary knowledge to be healthy in mind, body, and spirit. Please be with us as we go throughout the rest of this week, and just guide us in whatever it is that we need to focus on. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Yeah. 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 That's actually so funny. Guys, I am so thirsty all the time. I'm drinking water and I'm so thirsty, and I'm never having I'm still lips getting dry. I'm drinking water. Why? Probably too much yapping. I don't know, but yeah, you guys can just go on and ask questions now. Do they have Astros in Canada? I saw you eating Smarties. I don't know what Astros is, but let me Google it. Matter of fact, Smarties are a British candy, right? So that's why we have it. But they don't have it in America. So yeah. What is Astros? Is Astros supposed to be a candy? Is it supposed to taste like Smarties?
I think it's like a popsicle or something.
No, it says Astros. Well, that might be true, but there's also this Astros things that look like cheap knockoffs for Smarties, and it says Cadbury. Look at that. It looks like it has gobstoppers in it. It looks like chocolate with gobstoppers.
Yes.
I super hate it. It looks disgusting. Why would you show me this? Is this good? Does it taste good? Someone said it must be an exclusive South African candy. You know, they do even British candies, or whatever country you have your candies, sometimes even though they manufacture them, they only give certain kinds to certain countries, and even when it's distributed amongst all the Commonwealth countries, they have to follow the ingredients that the country says they can only allow to have. If you're not allowed certain percentage of certain ingredients or chemicals or things like that, you know what I mean? Next question, please. Looks can be deceiving. It's true. It's true. Looks can be deceiving. Looks can be deceiving. Normally I do, by the way, normally I do discuss the chapter that I read, but I don't know what to make of those two chapters. Sometimes I read things in the Bible and I'm like, okay. Like I just take the information and process it. Like there's nothing really for me to say. I don't know. I'm more prone to talking about things in the Bible that I can give like in a like obviously a logical response, but some sort of social or emotional or like personal reflective response. And I can't really personally reflect on the two chapters I just aside from actually the health itself, because actually that's very important. And shout out to Ben Carson for being in the health thing in America. But yeah, health is important. Spiritual, physical, mental, and emotional health is very important. And we have a duty and obligation to find the knowledge necessary to make sure that we have our health in good standing. But of course, that comes with also following God too, right? So he said, but there is a key lesson that God can extend life. Yeah, that's what I was actually getting at. That God is the ultimate physician and healer. Hi, Radius. He's the one who's going to be doing the most. Like you can do everything, but he's going to do the most. That's what I was talking about yesterday. Yeah, like how Job, he was on the street with the boils on his skin and he was rubbing his like the ash the dirt on his skin, on his boils, to kind of have some relief. And he did that, but until God said it was enough, he was there with his boils, right? So yeah, God is ultimately the one who have the control. We do things in faith and we look for the knowledge so that we can do things in faith, like in action. Still we have to exercise the faith that God is ultimately the one who decides, and he is the one who heals, and he is the one who, he gives and takes. Also, that one prayer can change the entire trajectory of a nation. What prayer? Hi, Terry. How's it going? Hi, Prolific. How's it going? You know what? Matter of fact, I think I can. What in the world? Why can't I? Wait a second. Blessings to you too, man. Um, said even in job circumstances, at the end he prayed, and the curse was lifted. In Job, not Job, in Job. Yeah, God is the one who ultimately decides, right? So, guys, I put the little. Hi, Floto. How's it going, man? I put the little thing in the comment. Ask question, please, please. How's it going? Hi, Canada, Greg. Shout out to my Canadians. Your hair is phenomenal. Oh, wow, thank you. It is a mess. it was like down and kind of like cute or whatever. And then I took another savage nap, and I woke up and I was like, okay, so we can't have this down anymore for the stream. We got to put it up in a in a pineapple or whatever, you know. So that's what it is. The hair is the bangs are surely banging. The bangs are banging. How long did you spend on your hair today? I spent approximately 0 minutes. I'm very lazy with my hair. Even when my hair is like straight, I'll do things so like it'll only take me like 10 minutes for it to be like straight. Um like if I throw it in a ponytail after I shower, it's going to be like straight when it dries. And then I can just like blow dry it a little bit, or like run the thing over it a couple times, you know, like the straighten in thing. Cuz like my hair, like even though, so as you guys noticed, like I cut my hair, like I trimmed it. Um but like I trimmed like the dead ends cuz there was like some super straight pieces that were just like um and yeah, so that's why my hair is a little bit shorter. But even though I do that every time, the pieces will continue like to go straight. So like as it keeps getting longer and longer, I'm just gonna let it do what it do. Maybe one day it will be like super puffy, really curly again. I highly doubt it. It seems like as long as this is like growing, the curls are like kind of coming back, like kind of like coming back half and half, but it's like it will be curly and then it will just start going back straight. So I don't know, like I'm just gonna, you know, keep trimming dead ends or whatever and just keep letting it grow until whatever happens. And if it ever goes back normal, it goes back normal, but it will just get longer and longer regardless, and whatever happens happens, you feel me? So but I literally just like washed it, brushed it for like 2 seconds, and then I walked away, and then it dried, and then I took a nap, a savage nap. So then I couldn't leave it down anymore. So then I just went like this and put it in a ponytail, and that took me like 2 seconds. I'm really lazy with my hair. Sometimes I feel bad, but I don't know, like I could never be one of those girls who have like extensions and like doing the hair every single day. Like I would rather be ugly. I don't know, like I don't know, but I don't know, like. So I said, "Did you eat the Smarties?" I did in fact eat the Smarties. And I should have not ate the Smarties because I was already feeling nauseous, but I felt so reminiscent because I had not seen Smarties in over 5 years that I ate them just to kind of get some nostalgia. And then I was like, oh, I should have not. So then after that, I ate a kiwi with the skin on. I just bit into it. It's so good. My cousin was like, you eat kiwi with the skin on? I was like, it's good for you. It tastes delicious. Like, why wouldn't you just bite into it? You can do that. I knew a girl in school who did that with oranges. She would bite into the orange peel. I like to boil the orange peel. But anyway, off topic. Someone said Luke 11:5 verse to 8. I'm going to check it now. You said you did your own hair for the church outfit. I do my own hair every single day. Nobody ever does my own hair. I mean, nobody ever does my hair. I always do my own hair. But I am very lazy with my hair, so I just do my hair in a way where I feel like it looks natural, or like it looks like, I don't like hair that looks extremely put together, you know? Like I don't like hair that's like really perfectly in place. I don't like I want, like I think looking prim and proper and like elegant is fine, but like I don't like things that look too perfect. You know what I mean? Like to me, if it looks too perfect, it seems fake. I don't know. I don't like it. Someone said, I have never heard the term savage nap. We should put that on a hat and a t-shirt. Okay, so the reason I called it a savage nap and I've been calling my nap savage is because I'm really hoping and assuming the other night when not the other night, the other day, I went to go give a resume to a job and to talk to like the people, and when I got back home, I took a nap. And when I woke up and went to the bathroom, I saw that I had a huge rip in the back of my pants. And I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. I was like, Dad, why didn't you tell me there was a rip in my pants? Was there a rip when I went out? And he was like, no, it wasn't there. And I was like, are you sure? He's like, well, at least they'll think that you really need the job. And I was dying laughing, but I was like, no. But he said it wasn't there. So I'm assuming that I ripped it quite badly while I was sleeping. So I've started to say that I am a savage napper because I don't know why. I don't know how you rip your jeans in a nap. I've never done that before. I don't know. Anyways, I had a very interesting sleep. And so now I'm just assuming that all of my naps are savage, and I must have been fighting things in my sleep. I don't know. It was madness. Anyway, so let me see what that thing said. You said I was do they have jelly tots in Canada too? What is jelly tots? What is I have to check what is jelly tots. He said it looks good. Thank you. Yeah, I don't put too much effort into like aesthetic for like I consider like the way that you put yourself together and the way you carry yourself to be aesthetic. So like I think my hair for sure, like I'll do it to look nice obviously, but like my hair and the way that I dress I consider to be like aesthetic. But then at the same time it's like I think that if you can look very attractive in regular clothes, then you are truly attractive. Like if you need very expensive clothes to look attractive, you're probably not that attractive. If you need extremely nice hairstyle, like very prim and proper, well put together, or like change in hair color or like extensions and all these things to look attractive, you're not attractive. And that's okay. You're just not naturally attractive, which is why a lot of the things I'm like, I would just rather be ugly. Oh man, I'm problems. I said we're comparing candy. Okay, now there's loads of stuff. Wait, guys, I had questions. You're making so many comments, but like I have no idea. Okay. Wait, let me check the Luke 11, 5 to 8 first, because I didn't look it yet. Luke 11, 5 to 8. KJV. It says, and he said unto them, which of you shall have a friend, and shall go unto him at midnight, and say unto him, Friend, lend me 3 loaves. For a friend of mine in his journey is come to me, and I have nothing to set before him. And he from within shall answer and say, Trouble me not, the door is now shut, and my children are with me in bed. I cannot rise and give thee. I say unto you, though he will not rise and give him, because he is his friend, yet because of his importunity, he will rise and give him as many as he needed. What does that mean?
What?
What I just said.
I was actually focused on this.
I'll text it to you. Just look at your WhatsApp. An importunity means persistence, especially to the point of annoyance. Said Kay wakes up attractive. If you could see me when I woke up in the morning.
Lazy, and he decides that he doesn't want to go and answer the door to help somebody, and he's making excuses.
So what is the point? What is the point?
The point is that when somebody comes to you and says that I need food, help me and lend me food, but he's like, I can't answer the door because my children are with me in bed and I cannot rise and give you. So he's making excuses not to help somebody in their hour of need.
So what's the point?
Don't do it.
Like, you're supposed to help people in their hour of need. Yeah, nobody does that though. Hey, why did you send that, Prolific? It's a true thing. Like, but nobody helps, you know? Like, I don't like that people are like that, because we have gotten out of bed to help people before that just randomly came to our door and was like, hey, like, we need help, we need money, and we need like XYZ. And we just was like, okay, man, sure, whatever. And then on your way, like, you know, I didn't mind. No, if you could see me first thing in the morning, very busted, especially now that I don't know, maybe not, I don't know, I can't say. My hair is just like all over the place in the morning. Okay, someone else said, if a train is traveling at 30 km per hour, did that also give you these kind of questions in school? Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did have those questions. I think some are marshmallow chocolate eggs are fire. That's disgusting. What's the best candy? The best candy? I don't know, hot chocolate. Someone said, may the grace of the Lord Jesus Christ and the love of God and the fellowship of the Holy Spirit be with you. 2 Corinthians 13:14. That's what's up. Thank you, man. You too. You said, I eat the skin of almost every fruit, cleanse it with apple cider. Man, I didn't have time for that. Whatever happens, happens. Just strengthening my immune system. I probably shouldn't be agitating my stomach because I'm already, like, my stomach has been so nauseous today. Like, I don't know when my appetite's going to go back to normal, man. I had one sandwich today, and I shouldn't have eaten the second half. I think that's what it is. I ate the first half of my sandwich, and then I was like, okay, I'm full. But I'm like, maybe I should eat the second half to try and, like, you know, increase the appetite, right? Maybe that will, like, push me to be hungry later, increasing, like, stomach or whatever. Nah, bro. I should have not. As soon as I started eating the second half of the sandwich, I was like, no, this was a mistake. Abort mission. And then I was like, no, I'm already in too deep. I already started. And if I put it away, I'm not gonna come back. So I just, like, forced myself to eat the second half. And then I was like, nah, man, I might actually throw up. And then later I just ate the Smarties and kiwi. Because I was like, nostalgia. And then I felt sick. And then I was like, maybe I should wash this down with some kiwi. The kiwi actually did help me feel a little bit better, though. It's 1340. Corinthians 14. Oh, la 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 la. Someone said the key is to do your best in helping others. Exactly, I agree for sure. Biting into an orange is a new one for me. No, it's diabolical. Biting into oranges is 100% diabolical. Someone said it's like war when you have invested too many soldiers. Perhaps. War when you invested too many soldiers is crazy. Retreat is sometimes best. Yeah. I really should have only ate the one half of the sandwich. It was a good sandwich. I made myself a sandwich. It was a pretty good sandwich, but Actually, that's not true. Like in theory, it was a delicious sandwich, but because I didn't feel good and I didn't want to eat it to begin with, I felt like I was like, ugh. It was delicious though. Good night, Ryan. How's it going, man? I don't know. Sometimes when you have like sometimes you just have like times when you're just like just look at food and you're just like, oh nah, man. And then sometimes you're just like just can't stop, won't stop. um uh you guys are throwing up emojis but not asking questions. That is diabolical. Wait a second. I guess it's actually kind of late on one side of, or I guess everyone's. How do you feel about readiness and motherhood? Have you read a little? Wait, can you expand on that question? Like, what do you mean by that? You are low key like Shikamaru. Who's Shikamaru? And what do you mean about the motherhood question? Can you explain me, please? Okay, I'll have to Google what is Shikamaru or who is Shikamaru. What anime is that? Maybe I'll go watch it later. Ah, Shikamaru is ah. Stop it right now. Is this Shikamaru? Bro, the disrespect. Wait. Bro looks cool, low key. Uh, is this from Naruto? I have never watched Naruto and I refuse to watch Naruto because it seems like a gay show or a stupid show. I don't know. Um, do you know who's actually one of my most favorite characters? Is actually from MHA, My Hero Academia, and Aizawa. Aizawa and I think his name's Aizawa and Todoroki. Like, are you aware of the milestones children reach babies? What do you mean? Like, what do you mean by the question? I'm confused.
The milestones that children are supposed to have to be normal.
I mean, my father did the milestones with me for me to be normal, so I think that.
It's where you need to be in your development.
You mean where the children need to be in their development at each age?
Yeah.
I mean, I did a lot of early childcare work. Early early childcare work. So I have a lot of experience with that, but I mean, I'll have to it's a learning experience too because every child is different. One child might learn like might develop a lot faster than the other child regardless of where they should be like in theory, and I have to treat them in accordance to what their individual needs are and go from there. Like I can't treat them all the same, right? So um uh wait a second. I think the character I probably hate the most in My Hero Academia is like Ochaka. Yeah, Shoto Aizawa. Yeah, I like Aizawa and Shoto Todoroki. But low key, Toya Todoroki, uh he's uh he's a good character too. But wait a second. I mean, like teething, how to respond. Well, I'm not going to give them soothers, that's for sure, because I don't want to damage their teeth. Um, yeah, Dabi, that's who it is. Okay, he said I haven't watched that Academia. It's pretty good. Said he's a genius, but sometimes wait, who's a genius? Why do you like Aizawa? Because Aizawa acts cold, but he actually has a lot of love and compassion, and he sees the potential in Deku, um, Izuku Midoriya, and he actually low-key wants him to succeed. And he has a lot more compassion than people think he does. He pushes people based on their potential and things like that. Um, uh, Wait, how come I can't see those questions on my screen?
Which questions?
On those. Oh, it's coming in later, I guess. Anyways, yeah. Uh, my cousins my cousins have children. Um, and my dad had my little sister. So like, I seen how to deal with babies when I was growing up, and how to respond with like teething and stuff like that. And my dad, sometimes when my cousin wanted to like go off and do things, he would get me to watch my baby or my cousin's children uh for the weekend. And he would be like, by the way, and at the end of it he'd be like, by the way, so this is what your life will be if you have children right now, so like just make your decisions wisely, yeah. And I was just like, no. Because obviously as a teenager I was like, oh, no, I can't be doing this. Like it was traumatizing me, because like no teenager wants kids, right? So he said, I'm surprised that your enunciation of Japanese names is perfect. I'm very good with languages, I will say that. Thank you. Thank you. um and I listen to like the way they pronounce in the shows, and I try to replicate. I don't know, I'm actually quite good with languages, so that makes me happy that you say that. Yeah, but yeah, so for I had to learn to make, you know, like what food they can eat, or how to prepare the bottles and things like that. Actually, I was online the other day. I seen this girl, her baby was watching her something fierce because the baby's hungry. It was like a maybe a 1 years old or something, old enough where the baby can be like standing up and watching her with the soother in her mouth while she's, watching her, and she's hungry, right? So she's staring the mom down like while she's making this bottle. And the mom just, she takes the bottle, she opens another bottle of water, she pours half of the bottle of water in there, she opens another bottle of water, pours half, and then she takes the enfamil or whatever, the baby powder, baby milk powder or whatever, and she poured it in the bottle and started to shake, and the baby was like eyeing her down like, I'm ready for it, give it to me. And she starts shaking it, and then she, gives it to the baby. And I was just like, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. So you did not boil the bottles in hot water first, and then you did not boil hot water and then put the milk in it? First of all, you probably should not be boiling, now that I say that, you probably should not be boiling baby's plastic bottles. Don't you think? That's probably very bad, is it not?
What?
Plastic should not be heated and reheated.
No.
But they boil the bottles, the baby's bottles, to dissect them before they put more baby milk in it. That's probably bad, isn't it?
Which that they will do what?
Boil the baby's bottles before they put the new milk in it.
Yeah, they should. I mean, they have plastic bottles can be used for a certain amount, but the glass bottles are obviously better.
Yeah, people don't use that, but I'm saying like they don't. But you to clean the bottle, the plastic baby bottle, you should not boil them, correct?
No, not
Yeah,
the
that's what I'm
plastic
saying.
ones.
People do that. So now I realize I say that, but regardless, so that means you probably shouldn't even be putting hot water in those baby bottles either. Now that I think about it, but it's better to give warm milk to the baby. At least that's what West Indians do. They will just straight up give oatmeal to babies,
When
and
they're a little older, though.
when they're a little older. But that girl was old enough, like she could stand. If she could stand, she's old enough to have like the oatmeal, right? So, um, if you have a glass bottle, maybe that has handles so she don't touch the thing, then maybe you can put the warm milk in there with the powder and shake it and give to the baby or whatever. I'm starting to think a lot of things because there's a lot of things that put chemicals in the babies, in the products, like the baby wipes, the baby diapers have chemicals, loads of chemicals. The baby powder have talc or something that's poisonous or whatever. And I saw this girl online and she was showing how like she just used cloth or whatever as to have a diaper. It's like I don't speak English. Um and she done that with her babies and apparently it was fine. Like obviously she have to wash them, and I don't know, that will probably be more work, but I mean that's probably what they did in old times too. It's like you have to decide, do you want to do more natural to your baby and have more work, or do you want to do more convenience and sacrifice your baby by giving them chemicals? And in my mind I'm like, okay, like it's selfish. It's convenient for me, but it's selfish to the baby if I put them in a product that's going to be laced with chemicals. And I want to reduce as much chemical to my baby as possible. I don't know how to do that. I've never had children. I'm sure my husband will be able to help me with that. Um, but it's something I've been thinking about a lot. I'm not gonna lie to you. Um, Even like with food, because we would make homemade like foods for the babies. I don't even want my baby to eat mashed up food that comes in a jar. Why would I give my baby mashed up peas in a jar when I can blend the peas, boil the peas and blend them myself and feed it to my baby? Or I can boil the sweet potato, blend it myself and feed it to my baby. I can mash up bananas myself and feed it to my baby. I just feel I feel like that's a scam, because how do I even know that's mashed up peas or mashed up sweet potato? Like how do I know? Why did you have to do it like that? And why does it no longer look like mashed up peas or pureed peas and
Because it
pureed sweet potato?
pulverizes it in some.
Yeah, but
Turn it
it
into
ca-
soup.
it has to be something else too, because
Well, yeah, they
when
put
you
other stuff in
puree,
there.
I've pureed stuff myself to make soup and it
They
didn't look
put
like that.
they put preservatives and other stuff
Yeah.
in there.
Someone said it's about learning home remedies. Yeah, it is about learning home remedies. You said true from scratch is best. Yeah, I can blend up, and I did that with my little sister too. Like I blended up natural stuff, and she loved it. Like every day she wanted a smoothie. Like all day, every day she wanted smoothies. Like every single time I was in the kitchen, she was like, one day I was. One day I was making a smoothie with her. She wanted me to pick her up because she always wants to be involved. She always wanted to like put the stuff in with me, and so like, or she would be there like holding something trying to stir, or like it's very jagged movements because she's a kid, right? And then so like I'm holding her, there's like the air con or whatever machine on like the left of me or whatever, and she's on my hip here, and we're trying to like put the thing in, and she understood that you have to push the thing to blend and put the cover on first. So she's like trying to pour the stuff in and then put the cover on and then press the thing to blend, and then she's looking at me and like making her like little word noises or whatever. And she wanted to stand up at one point, And the way that she moved, she ended up like falling. And I just, she looked at me, I looked at her, and I was like, I was waiting to see if she was going to scream, right? Because, like, a lot of times that kids scream is because you freak out. And if they see you freak out, then they're going to be like, oh my gosh, something bad happened. So they'll start crying. But if you stay calm, they're going to be like, I can stay calm. So I was just, she looked, I looked, she looked, I looked. And then I just picked her up. And then she was like, it was so bad. I felt so bad. Because, like, I put her on the thing, and I don't know if she, like, if she's like how she slipped or whatever, but she slipped and fell in between. And I was like, oh no, I'm so sorry. It's probably half my fault, half of her fault. She said, babies are so funny and your Vegeta tendencies are showing. What Vegeta tendencies? What Vegeta tendencies? Someone said, yeah, it shouldn't be. It can be rinsed in hot water, not boiling water. I probably, if I can avoid using plastic with my babies, I will avoid using plastic. I don't want I don't want to give my children anything that will release chemicals or redistribute chemicals, or I don't want them sucking on anything. I didn't have soother. My dad didn't give me. That's why my teeth are beautiful. I've never had braces. Growing up, my aunts both were dental assistant before the one went to work government instead. One is still dental assistant, and their boss was good friend to them, and she always did my teeth. She's amazing. Actually, she did one of my tooth that I broke. I told you guys I broke this tooth like while I was in US, and I was waiting because I don't trust, like, I was waiting for like a good place, and finally I'm back in Canada, whatever. So I was like, oh, I'll just hit up my old dentist, and she hooked me up nice. But um yeah, she did my teeth always from child, and she was like, oh, all your teeth are in perfect position, like you have perfectly aligned teeth. I was like, ah, that's what's up. However, what sucks though is that as I get older, like these canines, I don't know, like at the bottom, they're like shifting. They're like they're moving like closer, and these two teeth here, they're starting to like shift slightly to overlap, which I don't know how, because I removed my all four of my wisdom teeth. They said that will prevent, but apparently not. Now I feel like maybe I should have not removed, but if you don't need to remove, don't remove. So babies are so funny. Yeah, they are. Um uh but yeah, I don't hi True, hi Optimus, hi Crown. I honestly don't yeah, I don't know. With babies, I don't think I would be overprotective mother in the way where I don't want my children to experience any risk or anything. I think I would be overprotective in the way, like, I don't want to expose them to any unnecessary chemicals, any unnecessary products. I will probably not use very many products in their hair. That's another reason why I don't do much with my hair. I don't put products in my hair. I don't use shampoo. I only use conditioner. I stopped using shampoo a long time ago because it it really was damaging my hair. I don't know. I don't know why. Like, it was messing with my hair. So I just stopped, and now I only use conditioner, and my hair feels a lot better. Um Someone said, "You're amazing. Love your content. Just passing through." Thanks, man. Please share the stream. Please share the stream. Yeah. Um but even still, like, when I get to the point, and I know also how to make my own soap. So I, as much as I can do for my family natural, I think I will do. Like, I think I will make my own soap. I will make my own shampoo and conditioner. Not shampoo, because I don't think we will need. I will use like just conditioner unless they want. I mean, up to them. I don't care. But I will make it from scratch because I know how. But uh as many natural things as I can. I can even make butter myself. I know how to make like so many things by myself. So as many even candles and other stuff like whatever I can make by myself so that I can outsource and don't have to outsource and have like random chemicals, but I can put stuff in it that's actually healing and natural, like natural oils or plants and stuff like that so that I can be actually better, then I will do that cuz why not, right? Said what type of diet have you enjoyed the most when you look throughout your life? Probably vegan. The diet I prefer the most is vegan. But the last 5 years, I've had a really hard time staying vegan. When I was in detention, I was vegan and I was most energy, strongest in there, like super fit, ate whatever I want, as always. Like, same when I was in Texas, vegan, eat whatever I want and whatever. Just, except I hate having to eat so much. Um, I don't like eating meat too much really because it just messes with my stomach. I do think that is like I told you guys the other day, like I found research about that being like an ADHD thing. Like a lot of kids with ADHD growing up, they don't like eating heavy meat kind of foods because of um sensory and like digestive and things like that. I really don't like heavy meats too much. I do like goat. I do like fish. Um, I don't like chicken. I don't know what it is. I will rarely eat chicken. It has to be done a certain way. Goat and oxtail though always slaps. If I see it, I'll okay, okay. Um, Super Saiyan vegan Vegeta. That's so funny. You never explained what the Vegeta tendencies were. You said, can you make different types of bread like rye? Oh, I can make loads of types of bread. Like I can make a bunch of different types of bread. I know how to make bread. Um, yeah, for sure. Bread making is in large like very similar. It's just um it's more like you just recipe and then just do it. Like it's not difficult. It's really not difficult. I try not to eat fermented foods too much though. I do like kimchi, but I try to stay away from fermented foods. Fermented foods, as much as they say it's like a probiotic, fermented foods are actually not very good for you. They're not. The pros do not outweigh the cons. It's just one of those things. I try to stay away from caffeinated things, fermented things, heavy meat things like I don't know. What's your favorite meal to cook? Honestly, that's very hard. Probably any West Indian dish or like a Korean dish because I just really love how refreshing and delicious Korean food is, but like naturally West Indian food is like super delicious. Um yeah, any West Indian dish. I probably cook though when I live by myself or like with my dad. I We cook more cultural food than my aunt and granny cook because they just love other things. Like Canada has done strange things to them. I don't know. They just they love every other food. I can't do beef anymore. Yeah, like I can't like and the thing is as well, like people don't accept that when you eat meat, you have like despite the benefits of some benefits of eating meat, there are more disadvantages because you're eating the hormones of a full-grown animal. You have to think as well, like when you eat dairy, how do you get milk? The only way you can get milk is if someone is pregnant. So a cow is giving milk because it's pregnant, and the milk is to give to a calf to grow to 600 plus pound cow. So that throws off your endocrine system, which is very damaging because your endocrine system runs your metabolism. It even affects your brain function. It affects your reproductive system. It can throw off your hormones, and it often does. And what a lot of people think is soy disruption, it's actually also dairy disruption, dairy that's causing these imbalances in their body. Um, uh, when you eat the meat part, you're not eating the female because they need the females alive so they can produce the milk and the calves and other things. You're actually eating a huge male most of the time, and 700 whatever plus pound male cow is pumped with all of those hormones in its body. And I'm not talking about the additional hormones, I'm talking about the natural animal's hormones. You're eating death, and you are what you eat. And so, like, your body as well, regardless of what anyone says, humans have extremely long intestines. We have very slow digestion, and the stomach acid we have is not even comparable to something like a wolf, where if they ate meat, they would digest the meat in their stomach from their acid like within 2 to 4 hours. Humans can take up to 4 days to digest a piece of meat in like through their intestinal tract, their stomach, and everything. So it's like sometimes it sits in their stomach for days because we don't have the strong acid to like rapidly break down that stuff. That's just is what it is. Like, and in the Garden of Eden, they didn't eat meat in perfection. Nobody ate meat until after the flood. You can look that up. You can ask ChatGPT to confirm the scripture because that's non-biased. You can ask Google to confirm the scripture. Nobody ate meat until after the flood. And God also said that it was to lower also the lifespan of people because they were so wicked. And there was also nothing else to eat because they just flooded the earth. Before the flood, everyone only ate what was from that had a seed. It was from a bush or a tree. It was a herb and a fruit or vegetable or something. Anything that grew on a tree or herb or from the ground, you could eat it if it had a seed. You could not eat meat before that. No one was eating meat. So God in perfection made us without eating meat. So it's like, if we're called to go back to the Garden of Eden, those of who can do it, by all means, I think do it because you have more. The reason why I really loved eating vegan as well is not just because of how I felt physically, but because of my mental clarity. People don't want to acknowledge the difference between eating meat and dairy and things like that. But scientifically speaking, this is not religiously speaking, scientifically speaking, because we don't have the extreme acid that carnivorous animals do, like a wolf. When you eat something like meat or dairy, because it's such a heavy food that you have to digest, your stomach takes a lot of energy to digest it, so it shuts down your frontal lobe so that it can put more energy in digesting your food. Your frontal lobe is the control center of your brain and responsible for all of your logic and reasoning. So this is why I tell people a lot of their poor brain function is attached to their diet, because even though your mind is the control center of your brain, your stomach fuels it. So if you eat food that is not the proper fuel for your brain will shut down in different areas depending on what you've eaten. That will shut down the different parts of your brain, and then your brain will not send the right signals to the different parts of your body to do the job that it needs to do, and it actually affects the whole function of it turns a well-oiled machine into like a discombobulated mess. And that's really the issue, right? Beef, yeah, you're right. Beef does not digest well. It doesn't. You said I'm contemplating going more fish diet and veggies diet. That's, I wouldn't tell you not to do it if you think that's best for you 100%. So what do you think of almond milk then? If you make your own almond milk, by all means, why not? And if you want to buy almond milk, that's up to you. There's more protein in almonds in almond milk than there is in regular milk. And the idea that you get calcium from cow's milk is a lie. Cow's milk has actually been proven to deteriorate your bone health as opposed to actually help it. And I studied nutrition for a while as well, so it's like it like even in school they teach you that on the little pyramid that they have, they put things in order of best foods to worst foods. The order is not for fun. So like the fruits, veggies, legumes, and grains and nuts and seeds and stuff, those are in the first category because that is the best foods that you can eat to replenish your body and give it what it needs. Then it goes to things like fish, and then it goes to like chicken and beef, and go to whatever. And then pig and scavengers and all that crap is at the very end, and like you know uh crabs, shrimps, lobsters, whatever on there because they are the cockroaches of the ocean. They're scavengers, and they're the worst type of food that you can eat for your body's development and health, right? So it's like I'm not gonna feed my children anything that every child is going to be different. I obviously don't have a child, so until I actually have a child, I'm not going to know like what their dietary needs are, but I'm going to try my best to match those dietary needs with uh things that are going to be healthy for them and just whole foods that are going to just help them grow in a very positive way. But until I have those children, right, I'm not going to know, because even myself, like I was vegan for a while, but I was exposed to a lot of stuff. I was poisoned a lot, and now I'm having a hard time just eating vegan food. So I'm trying to balance with eating certain things, um, and even that bothers me, like because like I don't like it. So it's I didn't grow up eating that kind of way, like preference wise. So when I do eat that way long term, I'll have a benefit from like re-equalizing my diet, but then I'll have a regression as well because my body doesn't appreciate it. So it's like you're forced to do something that also damages you, and that's kind of what's diabolical about a lot of the poisoning that the West, the people in the West have had, because they're being forced into positions to do things to help themselves that are actually uh, regressing their health in the same time, because they can't do what they naturally would have done. You said that explains brain fog. I was shocked to learn that blindness can actually be cured with a change in diet, so the stomach controls vision. Oh, that's very interesting. Said regarding the frontal line, I spoke to a brain surgeon and they said it doesn't fully develop until you're 26 to 28. I previously thought it was 25. It does depend on the person. Said the flesh of fruit was the original meat. Yes, exactly. In the Bible, meat actually meant fruit. Like like in Genesis, like flesh and meat were completely different things. Like a lot of people don't actually understand the difference between when the Bible is talking about like regular food, like just plant-based foods, and actual animal flesh. And a lot of people, they use the excuse of, okay, well, the laws of Leviticus, but then after Peter said blah blah blah. Well, that can't actually be true, because um how are you're saying that they're like, okay, the Bible lets you eat meat, but then they want to discard the laws of Leviticus and eat whatever the hell they want. God says that you're not supposed to eat the blood. Most people who eat meat do not eat meat the way that God advises you to eat meat. And if most people ate meat the way that God advises you to eat meat, they would not want to eat meat, because you technically have to eat kosher, which means you have to drain the meat of all of the blood, because you cannot eat the death. Like the blood is like the death. And you cannot eat the fat of the meat either, because God said the fat is a sweet savor unto the Lord and it's for him. So you cannot eat it. So the two things that make the meat taste the best, the fat and the blood, you can't eat it. So everyone that's enjoying a medium rare or a rare steak or a blue rare or 2 seconds on each side, you are sinning, my friend. You are not following the laws of God. A lot of people who eat meat do not eat meat the way God has advised them to eat food. Someone said, It's a tough love approach. Like, when Vegeta trains Trunks, he fights like he's fighting Kakarot. There's a scene where Trunks and Goten see Kakarot and Vegeta flying to fight someone, and they're like, "Oh, Dad, is it true? We heard you're going to fight. That's so cool. Can we come?" And then after Kakarot was down, but then Vegeta said, "If you want to be useful, you better learn to start holding your own and stop using fusion." And then they were just like, "Oh," and then Kakarot was like, "Oh, come on, Vegeta, don't you think you're being a little harsh to him?" And Vegeta turns to him and says, "Unlike you, I tell my son the truth." And then he flew off and left everyone behind. Kakarot, in many ways, man, I don't know. I don't know. But Vegeta was right. You have to tell your children the truth. And that's why Trunks was a complete savage. And Goten, I don't know, man. Even Goten and Gohan, like, Vegeta's kids were better, man. I don't know. Gohan as a child was elite because of Piccolo. And then he grew up and turned to academia, and maybe college indoctrinated him, and he was whatever. And then Goten was like just about the girls. And it's crazy because they were still half Saiyan. But then Trunks was more of a savage. And then even like the sister, what was her name? I forget. Bola or whatever. I was so upset when he didn't get to give her a proper Saiyan name. Someone said, "What's your favorite flower? Do you want to have a flower garden alongside the veggie garden?" My favorite flower, is now roses. I don't know. I used to really hate flowers, because I just thought they were so corny, and I just thought, like, I just hated like Valentine's Day and all. Everything was a scam, right? So, but now I really, really love flowers, and I've come to understand, maybe not flowers in general, roses particularly, because I don't know, just roses. Um, I used to love daisies because they were very simple and they were odd out. And there was actually a little poem that someone wrote once, and not really a poem, but kind of like a poem. It was like, "And if you don't like me as I do you, then I understand, because who really would love a daisy in a field of roses?" And I always liked that because to me that was it's just such a real thing. It just felt like such a real experience because I felt like a daisy in a field of roses. And but I liked that because I was like, I like being different, but if you don't like what's different, then I understand, because who really would like a daisy in a field of roses? Everyone is going to go for the roses. And it's okay that I'm a daisy. I love daisies. The very simple white daisy, the natural white daisy, I love the most. But I now have a very fond love and admiration for roses, red roses. Why not? Um, and I come to understand that if you're a woman that thinks you hate flowers, you probably don't hate flowers. You probably have a strong distaste for the people who try to give you flowers, or you probably just don't like the people who try to give you flowers. Like, a lot of the things that women like, I think, are very much attached to the person who introduces them to it, because now you have a reason to cherish it. And I think that's why I liked daisies before, because I was cherishing something that felt personal to me. And now I very much love flowers because I cherish the individual and the experience of the individual. So I think now it has a very special sentimental like meaning to it. But yes, I would very much love a flower garden. That would alongside the veggie garden. Why not? Like, if they can be in close proximity, why not? My grandmother keeps her flower garden in the front of the house and our veggies and fruits in the back of the house separate. So I've never challenged the idea to think about if it's because it needs to happen biologically that way. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Any garden would just be beautiful. A garden of flowers and fruits and veggies would be super, super beautiful. Yeah. Roses, daisies, yeah. But roses for sure. Yeah, a whole garden of roses would be beautiful. Someone said Professor Robert Sapolsky showed me a lot about the endocrine system. Yeah, I learned a lot about the endocrine system when I ended up having car accidents because I ended up getting a thyroid condition before. Now I don't. And I got rid of I ended up getting hypothyroidism or something like that, and the doctor was like, "Oh, you have to take these medications," and it was just adrenal fatigue. A nutritionist came to our church that same Sabbath that I got diagnosed and was talking about like adrenal fatigue and how you can get hypothyroidism and Hashimoto's and hirsutism and stuff like that or whatever. Uh, and I ended up trying to go the natural route, and she was like, okay, well, do hydro and heliotherapy and go vegan completely, because the meat will disrupt your endocrine system and cause the agitation for your adrenals and everything else, and it will also give you leaky gut. Same with gluten, so she told me to stop eating gluten and stop eating refined sugars. So no refined sugars, no meat, no gluten, vegan diet, very natural, no processed foods, hydrotherapy, hydro and heliotherapy, and yeah, within a couple months, it was gone, and it never came back. And that's why I'm like, every single time I ended up developing some sort of like autoimmune disorder or whatever or problem, veganism cleared it every single time, and it's never come back. Like I go for like blood work and stuff, it's never come back. I have a deep fear. I have a deep fear that if I keep eating meat for the rest of my life, I will get a disease. I don't know why, but it's like whenever I eat, I feel like whenever something happens, I'm just like, oh no, 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 no. My body is in not a good state. If I eat meat, something bad is gonna happen. Because I just have like the predisposition maybe in my mind because I've always healed problems with eating vegan, that I have the fear that if I revert completely 100% long term, I will get a disease and die. Like it might be unrealistic, but I think not, because eating meat does a lot to your endocrine, does a lot of harm to your endocrine system, and that's like that's basic nutritional understanding. Like even dietitians will tell you that eating meat does affect your endocrine system in a negative way, and like a lot of they don't recommend a lot of people who have things like diabetes or other things to eat too much meat. Like certain diseases, they advise them to eat less meat, like diets, like to revert to like fish or even going plant-based, because and you don't need to eat the Bill Gates special. You can make things from scratch. It's like someone said, no wonder you have thorns to fend off losers. It's so funny. So roses are fire, 100% they're fire. And you know what? My granny used to love roses growing up, and I hated them, man. She loved roses and tulips, and I absolutely hated them. I was like, every time she would be like, oh, look at my beautiful flowers. I'm like, they're ugly. Why do you like these? They're hideous. They smell disgusting. And now I'm just like, oh, wow, roses are so beautiful. I was like, why are you such a sap? Now look at me, the whole sap tree. Said I wanted to go on grain 90% diet for a year to see how grain on a grain 90% diet, I would die. The insulin alone would kill me. From grain, I would die. I would die. Someone said, ew, rare. I meant frontal lobe, not. Someone said, I feel peanut butter is sufficient to replace meat. Peanut butter alone sufficient to replace meat? No, not at all. Peanut butter is not. When I was in detention, I was eating loads of beans, loads of peanut butter, loads of vegetables, loads of sugar, really. Whatever protein I could get, I was eating it. No, you can't. You have to have nuts, seeds, legumes, just like beans, whatever. you can make grains that are complete protein. Like Ezekiel bread is a complete protein. Like Ezekiel bread has absolutely everything you need in it. Like everything. I think there's like spelt, millet, all that in there. Peanut butter is not enough to replace. That's insanity. You said my older brother has hypothyroid. How did you get rid of it? I got rid of it by eating vegan, um, no processed foods, no gluten, no processed sugar, hydro and heliotherapy. So I was doing at least 30 minutes to 1 hour exercise outside every day, which was also my heliotherapy, light therapy, where I would get natural sunlight for at least 30 minutes to an hour a day. So I would just kill two birds with one stone. Hydrotherapy every morning in the shower. I would do as hot water as I could to as cold water as I could. And I would go back and forth as long as I could for a couple minutes before and after the shower was finished. Which was also very good for the muscles and, circulatory system and everything like that. I also had to make sure that I got a good sleep schedule. And yeah, within a few months, it was gone. And every time I developed some issue, it was like that. So, like, I just know that, like, yeah, I eat meat right now for convenience, but eventually, like, I'll want to stop. You said I haven't heard of Ezekiel bread. Go look into Ezekiel bread. It's really good for you. It's in the Bible. Like, go read about it. It's raining here. When last did it rain in your area? I don't know. When did we last have rain? Alberta's pretty dry, man. Probably a couple weeks ago. Roses are difficult to grow. I wouldn't doubt it. I was just thinking about you would have to be in a place where you can actually grow them like fine. But we have roses in our garden, the front of our garden, and they grow just fine. You said, imagine if Vegeta raised Gohan. If Vegeta raised Gohan, he'd be a savage. If Vegeta and Piccolo together, while Kakarot was dead, then yeah, for sure. Said I must rewatch that scene. Yeah, for sure you should. Sunny side up. Sunny side up eggs are pretty good. So we don't need that hypergrowth liquid cow's milk. Mother's milk is best for a child. Her central nervous system gives information to the milk as well. Yeah, exactly. Actually, when the mother breastfeeds the child, they actually both exchange chemicals neutrally, like that. That is healing to both of them, actually. So it's damaging to the mother if she doesn't breastfeed the child, just as it is damaging to the child if the child is not breastfed. Yeah, we don't need cow's milk. We're the only thing on the planet that drinks milk as adults, milk of other animals as adults. Like, that's just not normal. You said that that explains brain fog. I was shocked to learn. Oh wait, no, you said that. I said that already. Regarding the frontal lobe. Oh wait, no, I said that. So that's why Daniel looked healthier when he didn't eat the fine meats. Yeah, he told them, give us beans, grains, nuts and seeds or whatever, and bread or something. And if we are stronger, then we're coolin'. If not, kill us. And they were stronger than all of the other men. And yeah, like, and people were like, oh, it's because of the faith in God. No, he's not a retard. He knew what he was doing. He asked for very specific foods, or else he could have just said, give us water.
Yeah, we're not gonna get that streaming. Everything's breaking.
That's fine. We're having technical difficulties tonight, so we will not be doing the other streams tonight. Hi, Neptune. Hi, Spaceship. Yeah, we're having technical difficulties, so it looks like we're not doing the second stream tonight. It'll just be this one. Someone said, I call Ezekiel bread Bible bread. LOL. Sprouts are great too. They can grow year-round and will nourish you in any pandemic. Yeah, sprouts are great for you. Yeah, Ezekiel bread has everything. It is literally the Bible bread. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it literally is Bible bread. So peanut butter is a magical thing, though. Peanut butter is magical. It's really delicious. When I was in high school, I used to hate peanut butter my whole life growing up. Then I went through something in high school. I don't know. I used to see my cousins in high school eating peanut butter with a spoon, and I was like, you guys are disgusting. One day I woke up and I was like, I just started craving peanut butter, and I just took a huge spoon and the jar, like in the huge jar, and just started eating peanut butter with a spoon. When I'd go to my friend's house, sometimes I would just like have a random like huge peanut butter craving, and I'd be like, "Do you guys have peanut butter?" And they'd be like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "Can I have a spoon?" And then I would just like take a spoonful of their peanut butter, and then I was like, I don't know. It was so relaxing when I was in high school. I don't know why. I was just like a crackhead for peanut butter. But in high school, I don't know. I don't know. I think when you're, in high school, your eating habits are like insane. Sometimes I would like eat like multiple in high school. Sometimes I would eat uh like multiple footlongs a day, like all week. I was just so hungry, and it's like it just went nowhere. My stomach was like a bottomless pit, and my body wasn't collecting any weight. I was just like, I'm so hungry. Like, I don't know. I think I had a little bit of a growth spurt in high school too. I stayed like 5'4" or something, or 5'5", I think, all throughout secondary or middle school. But then in high school, um, I think I grew the last like 2 inches because I was still like kind of short in middle school. You said, wait, good night, Radius. You said, God loves you most. God loves you too, my friend. You said it makes you feel low key. Yeah, for sure. Actually, you know what? The best Subway, I mean, I don't really eat Subway anymore, but when I was growing up, they used to have egg salad subs at Subway, and they took them away. I don't know why. It's the only sub I would eat. I didn't like any of the meat subs. I did not like the fish sub. I was like, y'all are disgusting. I definitely was not eating the meatball sub. And I was like, why would any of you eat the cold sandwich subs with like the sub sauce? And it's like, anyway, so I would put the egg salad on the sub, and then I would put like lettuce, shredded lettuce, cucumber, tomatoes, jalapenos, extra pickles. Sometimes I would put like green peppers, but not really, because like green peppers, the way they cut them, it's like it becomes a texture issue, like because it doesn't flow. Obviously avocado, but they put it in guac, like they squeeze it or whatever. And then I would also sometimes I would put black olives, sometimes. And then I would put like every sauce. So I put like ranch, I put like the sweet onion, the sweet onion teriyaki sauce, like the garlic aioli or whatever, honey mustard. Sometimes I would put salt and pepper. I put like every sauce. Sometimes I put like chipotle on there too. Then I would get them to close it as much as possible. Oh, there was also melted cheese on there. Pepper jack. I would get them to close it, cut it in half. Actually, most of the time I don't think I put cheese, but sometimes I did, but mostly not. Get them to cut it in half and then wrap it separately. And then I could eat one of them, and not, because like when you have like a whole long sub, if you wrap it in one thing, it's like it's too messy, like you eat, like wrap them separately and then eat them separately as two separate subs, so like you can eat it in the plastic, because it's all in one plastic if you do it in the one thing, right? Or not one plastic, one wrapping. And then you have to eat it right in your hand, and it's disgusting because everything gets everywhere. And then it's like you don't have gloves or anything. I don't know. I love really messy food, but I'm too scornful to eat messy food. I don't know. You said cooked cabbage is low-key fire. I also couldn't eat, when you have a thyroid issue, by the way, if your brother has a thyroid issue, tell him to stop eating cruciferous vegetables. unless you cook them for a really long time, in which case it's not even worth it, because cruciferous vegetables actually like ferment in your stomach and cause a lot of like problems like leaky gut or whatever. So kale, cabbage, like all of those things make you very sensitive, and if you get leaky gut, it's like you're just cooked, bro. Like, yeah, and then you can get bloated, and then again, that's another thing. Like when you have endocrine issues, if you eat the wrong food, you'll get bloated, you'll have water retention, you'll gain weight that's not even fat or anything. Um and it's just bad. It's so many problems. It's so many problems. You can also like have really bad acne on your face. Um I don't use so another reason why I don't use products on my face, because all the things that people use on their face to like clean their face to make it look like shiny and nice or whatever, or like glossy, that stuff never worked on my face. It always just irritated my skin. I have really sensitive skin, so I just put water on my face now. I don't trust chemicals on my face. If I can't eat it, it doesn't go on my face. I don't even really use lotion on my body anymore. I use olive oil. I lotion my skin with olive oil because I'm like, I don't know what the hell is in that lotion. What the hell is lotion? I used to use cocoa butter because it smells good and it's like it was thick or whatever. But I'm like, what the hell is lotion? Shea butter. Okay, what the hell is shea butter? And I cannot stand the smell of natural shea butter. The thickness and the smell of it, it just makes me want to throw up. I've seen people make it themselves and whip it, and like my granny has some and she puts it on her skin. I'm like, Granny, you need to make that like different because it smells rank. I'm telling you right now. She said, "Oh, I love it." I'm like, "No. It smells disgusting and it's doesn't feel good on the skin." So I literally just lotion my whole body, feet included, with olive oil, and the skin is nice. Skin feels nice. Um I don't know. I don't like anything with chemicals. I'm even trying to like I love perfume. I was a crackhead for perfume. I'm telling you, I love perfume. But he said I think he was eating kale. He better stop eating kale. And if he eats kale, it should not be raw. It should be boiled for a very long time. Like any cruciferous vegetable you should not eat if you have hypothyroidism or any thyroid issue. What you looking at that? Okay. But what's it called? What was I saying? Yeah, wait, what was I saying? I don't remember. Never mind. Yeah, I just don't oh yeah, perfume. I really like perfume, but I'm trying to think now like if there's any way I can make my own like oils or something that smells nice that I can like put. Sometimes I'll put like peppermint oil instead, or like citrus, or like rose petal or something, or like hibiscus or something. I don't and the older I get, I become, I think, a little bit allergic to things that smell like perfume and stuff, because I sneeze very, very bad. Like even in the shower, if I have something that's scented, I'll be like nonstop sneezing, and it's so annoying. And then my skin will get irritated. So I don't know. I just am a sensitive person. But sometimes I'll low-key still spray perfume. I'm not even gonna lie to you. He said olive oil is for cooking. That's nasty. Olive oil is not just for cooking. A lot of people use olive oil on their skin in the West Indies. Like that is a very traditional thing that is done in the West Indies. I don't know. You said I'm not a fan of peppermint. A lot of people are not a fan of peppermint. I don't know why. That's crazy. And most perfume contain whale doo-doo under some big chemical name. That's funny. Most perfumes, I used to think all the time, like when I would see perfume and it would read eau de toilette, and I would be very disgusted because I'm like, why does this perfume say toilet water? And then I wouldn't use it because I'm like, is this some kind of like reverse psychology, like spitting in our face? Are they actually getting us toilet water? You said in the West Indies? What? Never. My grandmother and great-grandmother were born and raised in the West Indies, and they used olive oil on their skin. all the time. It's actually very good for your skin and your body to rub olive oil on your body, especially on your stomach. And castor oil as well. Castor oil, if you rub it on your stomach, it will, if you rub castor oil on your skin anywhere, especially where you're having a problem or pain, it will detox that area and extract whatever part of your body, whatever's in your body. Yeah, if you don't know anything about oils, then I feel sorry for you, but I'm not gonna stop rubbing my skin with oil. I would rather rub my skin with oil and help my skin be healthy and soft and shiny than to use chemicals from some stupid lotion that I don't know how it was made or whatever. Like I don't care. I don't care. And everybody loves my skin. They would have never known the difference if I didn't say that. No one would ever know. They'd probably just think I was using shea butter. He said, stop trying to be so greasy. Greasy? Someone said, I don't know what kind of shea butter you smelling because girls with shea butter smell good. I don't care what other girls do. I'm not other girls. Other girls can do whatever the hell they want. I am not other girls. And if you get, they say the skin is the largest organ. Yes, it is. And whatever you put on your skin absorbs it. And I'm not trying to have all those issues. Like, everything has poison. Everything has poison. And I can't stand it. And as much as you can reduce it, you might as well. Like, shea butter, if you get shea butter in its natural state, where you actually have to mix it yourself, melt it down and mix it yourself, smells disgusting. Oh, okay. So I'd love you for doing that, Kaysha. Lol. Hi, Alex. Hi, Eric. Okay, guys. Ask. You can ask a few more questions. I'm going to end the stream in like 5 minutes. Okay. I might be a mess to you, but I'm not a mess to everybody. And I enjoy being this way. So it's what's my granny will say, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. Yeah. Okay, yeah, guys. I'm going to shut down the stream in 5 minutes. So ask your final questions and then I'm going to bow out. And also in the West Indies, there's tons of things that they do for natural remedies that, like, yeah, I said, what's the one lesson you've learned in 2025? I think I've learned way too many lessons, man. I've learned way too many lessons. I think, I guess I could say the most important lesson I've learned is probably understanding God in a deeper sense, based on my experiences with men and things like that. Like, I think the greatest lesson I've learned is that I have infinitely more things to learn in life, and that it surely comes from, obviously the foundation's my Father and God, but that I will continuously to reach those understandings with like a good man next to me, and that there's nothing in life that can give me the understandings that God, the foundation of a father, and then a good man can give you. There's no career, there's no PhD or a degree or whatever, no job or no financial position, no like nothing that can enlighten you more than, you know, just having a good man next to you. So it's like I have infinitely more things to learn. He said, can you enlighten me on the difference between the Bahamas and the West Indies? I had some friends from the Bahamas, but I don't really know much about the Bahamas. Yeah. Said it is olive oil and Vaseline. Yeah, and by the way, guys, again, if you want to support the work that we do, you can go to the donor box here to donate at donorbox.org/the Project. And you can also go to the link in my bio and get like a t-shirt or a mug to support. We have merchandise or whatever. Someone said, I'm reading a book called Compounding Effect. I am trying to improve my planning techniques. Improving your planning techniques is important. I'm the kind of person who plans a lot and takes a long time to take a step because I need to plan to perfection. Yeah, so anyways, if you guys want to do that, that's cool. That's much appreciated. Please also, if you're listening, if you want to get notified every time I do a show, but also like, well, actually, I guess you would get notified here if you guys put bell notification. But go follow me, please, on Rumble, on Real Talk with Kaysha. If you don't know what Rumble is, it's a free speech app, and you should go check it out. And yeah, just follow me on there because yeah, Rumble is way better. But someone said, what are your thoughts on tarot readings? They are demonic. They are demonically inspired, and it's not something I would ever participate in. I'm a Christian and I don't believe in that stuff. I can get into that you know, maybe later on or something, but yeah. Anyways, guys, I'm going to shut it down. I'm going to go to sleep. It's been a long day. Thanks for tuning in to my Bible reading and then my after Q&A or whatever. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Ciao. Hello friends, my name is Kaysha and I'm a proud member of the Métis Nation of Saskatchewan. And I'm also a survivor of human trafficking. My trafficking began in Saskatchewan, moved into Alberta, and even crossed into the United States. I was stalked, hunted, and ignored by the very systems over the last 5 years that were meant to protect me. This is why, with my father Dale Richardson, we started the Karis Project. This is an Indigenous, survivor-led movement for humanity dedicated to exposing trafficking, government corruption, and holding institutions accountable. One of the most powerful tools that we are using is the petitions for redress of grievances. These are lawful constitutional actions rooted in Canadian and US law, and in treaties that tie us together across provinces, across states, and even across borders. These petitions are precedent-setting. They create a binding record. They demand accountability while representing reconciliation in action. Indigenous and non-Indigenous people working side by side to preserve liberty for all. But we cannot do this alone. We need your help to keep this movement alive, to raise awareness and to build a legacy of justice for Indigenous women, for trafficking survivors, and for families everywhere. Thank you. Please stand with us. Your support makes this work possible. Together we can restore justice, heal families, and defend freedom. And I will close with my favorite quote. The greatest want of the world is the want of men. Men who cannot be bought or sold. Men who in their inmost souls are true and honest. Men who do not fear to call sin by its right name. Men whose conscience is as true to duty as the needle to the pole. And men who will stand for the right, though the heavens may fall. Thank you.